What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to take a look at gaming adaptations, whether they be movies or television, going forward, and see which ones I think would, work or not work. We got the Fallout show, obviously, that just came out, right? I freaking loved it. I did a review on it on Podcast Now Plus, and I think they nailed it. I think it's one of, if not the best one that, the gaming industry has given to us in movies or television. So I thought this would be a, different kind of video for the channel, spice things up a little bit. So, let's keep it pretty darn simple. I just literally went on IGN. Actually, I went on Google, and it led me to IGN. Video game movies in 2024 and beyond. We're just going to rattle these off, and we'll do the television shows as well. Borderlands, Sonic 3, Minecraft, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Legend of Zelda, Ghost of Tsushima, Until Dawn, Gears of War, Mortal Kombat 2, Return to Silent Hill, Death Stranding, Street Fighter, Days Gone, Detective Pikachu 2, Stray, BioShock, Space Channel 5, Comic Zone, Mega Man, Just Cause, Duke Nukem, Gravity Rush, Dead by Daylight, It Takes Two, Sifu, Slime Rancher, Ark Survival Evolved, Pac-Man, Streets of Rage, Sniper Elite, Toe Jam and Earl, Jak and Daxter, Call of Duty, Half-Life, Saints Row, Portal, Yakuza, Beyond Good and Evil, Firewatch, Metal Gear Solid, The Division, Just Dance, oh, for the love of God, Dragon's Lair, Splinter Cell, presumed canceled. Now video games turned into TV shows. Fallout, already out. Arcane Season 2, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, Knuckles series, Last of Us Season 2, The Witcher Season 4, God of War Horizon, Gears of War, Devil May Cry Anime, Twisted Metal Season 2, Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, Castlevania, Nocturne Season 2, Mass Effect, A Plague Tale, Nier Automata Season 2, Disco Elysium, Hunt Showdown, Alan Wake, System Shock, Grounded, Life is Strange, My Friend Pedro, Skull and Bones, Child of Light, Brothers in Arms. Now, let's just start out with a blanket statement. Too many. Okay, actually, you know what? That wasn't even the first blanket statement that I was about to say, but I gotta throw that out. That is too many. And also, did I read right that Gears of War was listed as a TV show and a movie? Here's a second blanket statement, I should say. I'm not 100% sure that all of these things are actually confirmed. The Alan Wake thing, I know there's been a lot of talk about it. Is that actually real? That would be fine. Okay, maybe we'll talk about that as this video goes, but I don't know that for sure. I can tell you, the reason I feel like Alan Wake might be real or Mass Effect is because Life is Strange. Life is Strange is towards the very bottom of this list, and Life is Strange is actually, it's been reconfirmed, actually. It was announced years and years ago, and it was reconfirmed a few years ago. So, too many, way too many. Will they all work? Absolutely not. Some of these I think are destined to fail. Some of these I think are just, the thing is, are you making it because of the trend to get more of these properties just, out there in, from gaming to movies or television? Or are you making them for the love of the property? Truly, for the love of God. Hopefully what we're learning or what the industry is learning, and probably not, to be real with you, but if you make these series and you actually care about the fandom and you actually care about where they came from, those tend to, not for sure, and it's not 100% slam dunk guarantee. I feel like those will do better on average, okay? So if you make a Life is Strange show and you don't have to necessarily follow the game, now some of these things will follow, some of these things will not. But if you do it with respect to, true respect, not like fake respect, but true respect to the game, I think you'll be okay. Okay, well, which ones kind of stand out to me? Well, if we're going, TV shows, you have the Sony bunch, right? So you got God of War and Horizon. Honestly, I'm kind of 50-50. I feel like God of War feels like a good thing to adapt. I think God of War would work as a movie or a TV show. Now, because in a movie, you might want to already have them established, right? So you can just tell beginning, middle, end of just one succinct story, right? TV show does make more sense, and that's what it is. I think that might work. To be honest with you, I don't know. I think it's Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. Some of these are Netflix. Some of these are all over the freaking place. I'm not going to look up, 50 freaking shows and movies and see where they all come from. But I feel like just on the basis of what God of War is, something like that would work. Horizon, kind of 50-50. I've always been on record saying, I think the lore of Horizon is actually interesting. The games, if there's one thing you can say about the games, it's generally on like the more boring side, especially how like info is presented and just a lot of info. I think the info itself is actually interesting and there is a cool backstory and all that, but can you tell that through a TV show? Maybe it's actually better you tell it through. You know what I mean? Like it actually might work to try to simplify things a little bit, keep the core of what Horizon is and go from there. Maybe something like that would work. See, I don't know. Like, is Mass Effect and Plague Tale, like, are those real? Plague Tale, I think, would actually work really, really well. Mass Effect, I think, would work extremely well. And, again, is there like a possibility these things would fail? Of course. Gears of War, I do think that would work. I mean, okay, honestly, you look through it, and again, depending on how you handle it, I feel like all of these could work. Twisted Metal Season 2, Twisted Metal Season 1 is extremely good. Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell might have you ever watched 24? Anybody out there that's watched 24? I don't know. You don't want to necessarily copy like the other shows that have come before, even if it's in the same almost genre. Again, follow the games. Again, I'm sure some of these are going to end up kind of bad because not all of them are going to have like that huge respect. And honestly, like if you think about it right now, we're not batting at 500. We're not, 100%ing everything. Not every one of these things are turning out perfectly or, really nailing it. But I feel like, and, I guess more of like an overall discussion, I think we are moving in a right direction. Because again, we've had Twisted Metal, which I thought was really good. Not everybody did, but I did. Fallout, I think a lot of us think it was really good. You had The Last of Us show. Last of Us show tends to like drop in my rankings as I think about over time, but I think it was pretty solid. And there could be people that absolutely loved it. I never hated the Uncharted movie, but I certainly don't think it was like an amazing masterpiece or anything. So I feel like as time has gone on, we've gotten a little bit better at it. But I think the things like Firewatch or Beyond Good and Evil, like, okay, is there actually a Beyond Good and Evil movie going on? But like Firewatch, could that make a good movie? See, those are the ones that I think would either be, for some ridiculous reason, either extremely amazing or extremely bad, okay? Yakuza. I think Yakuza actually would make more sense as a TV show, by the way, than a movie. You can expand storylines, expand characters and whatnot. Jak and Daxter, that's one that's just kind of assumed because the director of Uncharted said he was going to make a Jak and Daxter movie. So would that work? I mean, we did have the Ratchet and Clank movie. That one didn't necessarily work. Oh, by the way, all of these things, and we have the Sly Cooper thing, and it was canceled, so can we add Sly Cooper to the list? Gravity Rush is another one. The early stuff on it looks fine. I don't think it looks amazing. I don't think it looks absolutely terrible. I love Gravity Rush to death, so I would hope that would work. Until Dawn, the game is already kind of a movie, so I don't know, because now in a movie you're going to have to actually pick canonical things to happen, whereas in the game you can have like the 8 different endings or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, looking through it, does it get me excited in a way? Like, would I watch a Ghost of Tsushima movie? Probably, especially the director doing John Wick, right? Death Stranding with Hideo involved. Hopefully, we're going in a positive direction. Hopefully, honestly, all the ones that I've mentioned. Now, look, I'm a big Mass Effect fan. I'm a big Life is Strange fan. I love Uncharted. I love God of War. You could just go down the line. A lot of these do excite me in some regard. And I guess I've always held, if you've watched like my videos for years and years, you probably would have heard me say this. Whenever it comes to these adaptations, my initial thought for all of them is always why. Like, why do you do it? Do we even need it? And most times I think the answer is no. Now, sometimes I can be proven wrong, if you can believe it. I really think a show can complement a game, but you're taking a big risk. You're taking a risk that you can actually nail it, because when you have something like Fallout that comes out and you can see the repercussions, good. You can see, for some reason, people are playing Fallout 76. Right? There's 40,000 people playing it. Fallout 4, Fallout 3, or Fallout New Vegas, they're getting played a lot, right? So if a show complements the game and truly does respect where the game was coming from, even if it's not telling a one-to-one story, it can almost reinvigorate games. It can, watching the Fallout show made me want to play the games, and not in a bad way. Not to escape the show and say, I got to wash my hands of this garbage. I'm going to go play the games. It's a compliment to it, right? It's you watch the show. My TV's over there. You watch the show, and then you say, you know what? I want to get more invested. That did a great job, but now let's go back to where it all began, and let's, retell these amazing stories. That's what these things should do. That's what these TV shows should do. It's what these movies should do. When you watch Twisted Metal, it should get you to play the game. And it should get you to play the game out of wanting to get more invested, not wanting to get away from what you just watched. And I think the Uncharted movie was probably the opposite. I think, again, that's why it's on more of like an upward swing. The Uncharted movie was more, let's play the game to remember how good it can be, because this Uncharted movie was kind of all over the place. But say Gravity Rush, right? Like if Gravity Rush's movie freaking rocks, then you go and you say, you know what? For those that don't know, the Gravity Rush games are amazing. You go play the games, and it complements each other. So I hope that all the ones I listed, all these properties that I really do like, I hope that, again, the proper respect is put into it. But hopefully, we read out God knows even how many. I'm not going to count those. But even if you can nail half. Now, it's a catch-22, because if you nail half, I would be happy because, you're batting at 500, you're, whatever. You nailed half of them. That's probably more than we could have asked for a few years ago. On the other hand, that would be also half, 50% of these properties that I also maybe care about. That would be total trash, right? Like, by the way, I know I just kind of went over some ones that are very positive. Like I mentioned, Horizon, I think, would kind of be 50-50. Gravity Rush, I'm not 100% sold on. But like the Assassin's Creed, whatever they're doing, I think it's a TV show on Netflix. Assassin's Creed, I would be kind of worried about just because I don't have a lot of trust. And Bioshock. Bioshock is a big one that, if you do Bioshock, you've got to do it right. And, I think those games, I would say plural, are extremely good. I know many people only look at one, and Infinite was very divided, but I always loved Infinite. So if you do, and I think that's a Netflix movie, if I'm not mistaken, if you do it, not having Ken Levine is also a big issue. I think what you see with Fallout, like Todd Howard and Bethesda, and I guess that's not always going to be the most helpful. Like sometimes you can have the creatives, and it's not going to do a whole lot of, difference in the world. But for Bioshock, they're not getting Ken Levine. There's absolutely no shot. So you're doing it just off the seat of your pants. The game is already, or the new game, right, is already in development hell or whatever. So I do not have a lot of trust that Bioshock thing would go well. I guess I mentioned Life is Strange. Life is Strange is just such a integral thing to me. I talk about that franchise or that first game all the time. Unless you're going to retell the first game word for word, 1-to-1, I don't know if the themes of Life is Strange would translate as like a teen melodrama, whatever you want to call it. I don't know television genres in general, but this kind of like a Euphoria type thing, like would that work as Life is Strange? Maybe, but it could also be the worst thing you ever seen in your goddamn life. So I don't know. Again, it's why I breach a lot of these things with cautious optimism, where it's like, do you even try it? The games are so good, maybe just leave it alone. Again, at its best, I think they work as very good complements. At its worst, I think you, in a way, hurt the franchise. You can look to Halo. I would say you could look to Halo. Now, again, is it killing the games? Not necessarily, but like the show is just not good. And like you're seeing with Fallout, leading to a resurgence. Obviously Sony and all that planned, Last of Us, the game remake with the show, and you saw an uptick in sales. Like it can work. And Halo, you're not seeing it at all. And I think it's because, well, why would it work? You know what I mean? Like the show is not inspiring people to go out and check, even people that have never played the games, that's definitely not going to make, you have to think about that too. People that watch movies and people that watch, say, the Gravity Rush movie, it's going to be a lot of Sony diehard fans, including myself multiple times, but it also could be people that have never heard or seen of Gravity Rush. If that movie sucks, why in God's name would they ever check out Gravity Rush? You know what I mean? So it's a risky card to play, and you have like 60 franchises, playing it. So you got to be careful. And again, I don't think they're all going to work. And that does scare me, because that's several properties that I think we really like that is probably going to suffer some sort of weird bad fate. But hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know that I could do maybe more of them. I tend to do more of these type videos on Podcast Now Plus, but I can throw them in here every so often. Let me know what you think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.